Hello, I'm Malta, and I want to show you hide glue, H-I-D-E, hide glue. And a more refined version of hide glue is rabbit skin glue. The rabbit skin glue is used in the bola, used as the undercoat, the glue paint which gold leaf is stuck to. And hide glue is a more mass market version. This is rabbit glue, but hide glue is the same thing. And what it is a granular, dry mixture which you have to mix up. What I'm going to do is mix up the hide glue and show you how good it is. I'm going to put boiling water into this little dish, and I'm going to chuck in some hide glue. Now that's a lot of hide glue for that amount of water, but because we're in a hurry, I haven't got time to puff about. You can use a microwave to make it as well, but to do it properly, you need to use gentle warming, not rapid warming. And the shelf life of a hide glue technically is long, though it has an odour, and a proper restorer won't want it to have a long shelf life, but a commercial restorer using hide glue will leave it boiling, bubbling away, and just keep adding to it, and when they want it, they'll heat it up. So hundreds of years ago, they had hide glue, water and hide, skin. And apart from hide glue, hundreds of years ago, in Malta and other places, they had here Aleppo pines, which is a little cypress tree with pine cones, and they could make out of it a glue and a varnish. That's not water soluble like hide glue. The Aleppo gum, Aleppo glue, is mixed with linseed oil and is made soluble by things other than water. So what we're going to do is we're going to mix it just slightly. There are different mixes for different purposes, and if you're making gesso, for example, which is clay, as a undercoat for the undercoat of gilding on a picture frame, it's dirt cheap because gesso is dirt, it's plaster. But to make gesso stick together, it needs rabbit glue, or at least a form of hide glue. The rabbit glue has got a good reputation because it's has good sticking qualities. But in a bola, when it's wet with cold water, it still will be sticky, and sticky enough to hold gold leaf, and that's why they call it water gilding, because it's just the water and the previously dry bola with the rabbit glue in it that makes the gold leaf stick. It's not water gilded, it's oil gilded, and the oil is applied with it's called a mordant. It's applied so it is tacky and sticks the gold leaf. That will be used for things like ceramic, bronze, metal, glass. So this is starting to thicken up. I'm going to add a bit more because I haven't got time to completely wait for all the bits to dissolve. The thing about hide glue, as opposed to modern glue, is it's not only the stickiness of the glue and the drying of the glue that makes things stick, it's the temperature. It is mainly the act of the glue cooling that makes the stickiness. So it's a very, very interesting glue, an ancient glue, very effective, and it sets very quickly. Not because, as I say, not because it's relying on drying, it's relying on cooling. I think there's probably enough in there for that to work. I hope so anyway. So we've talked about hide glue, we've talked about how it's used in the gesso on picture frames, we've talked about how it's used, rabbit skin glue is used in the bolo to hold the gold leaf onto gesso, and it can be used to glue wood. And as I say, as it dries and cools, it grips quite fast. It's not going to be as good a grip as a super glue, but because it's water soluble, it has other redeeming features. If you glue a joint with this stuff and you want to get it off, you can use a hairdryer and a hot knife, and it will soften and it will release. If you use just cold water, in the end it will also release. So I mix that up. I'm now going to try and glue some bits of wood together. So, as I say, I use boiling water to cheat. I'm just going to stick it together like that. I'm going to push it. A restorer will use a clamp, and we'll just talk about something else for a minute while that cools off a bit. So that can be kept. It smells, as I say, unfortunately, it smells horrible, but it will work for a long time. So what's happening now is this is cooling down. It's not drying. It's drying a bit, but not as fast as it's cooling. It's the cooling that you need to worry about. And the cooling means it will start to grip. You can make very thin mixes. If you're sticking paper to a wall or something like that, or whatever, like a wallpaper, you could use this stuff and just dilute it as much as you want. If you want to fill a void, you can boil it up so it is like a treacle, chuck it in the hole, and it will set into a solid mass. If I leave that brush in there, it will dry, and if I pick it up, the whole thing will pick up. So that is stuck. It's not dry, but you can see that the stuff is very effective. And I would say in 20 minutes, that would be fairly well stuck on. And to dry properly, that would need 2 or 3 days. And you can come back over it and you can fill in the little crevices if you want to. If you're gluing a chair together or something, you can pour in down the cracks. And you know, it's dirt cheap, this stuff. This hide glue, not so much fabric glue, but the hide glue is very cheap. And you can cake it, and if you want to, once it's taken as much as it will, you can wipe off the excess with a cloth with just cold water. So the modern glues have different qualities, and this old glue has its own advantages. That's pretty well stuck on. Just to show you, it will come off. I'll hit it hard enough. It's going now. So you can see it's wonderful stuff. And this is what they use to make antique furniture on the whole. That's really what they're using. They'll use dowels, they'll use tenon and mortise joints and dovetails, and they'll use pegs, wooden pegs and screws and nails. But they use this hide glue. So you've seen hide glue, rabbit skin glue. That's what it is. Thank you.